HBCU Experience, the Southern University System 3rd edition is a collection of stories written by prominent Southern University alumni throughout the world. Southern University alumni who are doing great things in their careers, businesses, and communities, nationally and internationally. The authors share their stories and experiences of how the Southern University system has molded them into the people they are today. Purchase your copy today and support the HBCU Experience, the Southern University System 3rd edition at Amazon.com.
HBCUs are more than a trend.
Yeah.
We're forever a part of the culture. HBCU Pulse always has you on lock. From the shade room to your favorite news feed, and now on your TV and radio. We are the #1 outlet for HBCU culture. Follow HBCU Pulse on social media and visit hbcupulse.com to stay up to date on what's going on in the HBCU community.
What's going on, everybody? This is Randall Barnes, the founder of HBCU Pulse and host of HBCU Pulse Radio, in the building for another special edition of the show on today, where it is finally release day for the HBCU Experience, the Southern University System 3rd edition. Making it happen. Talked to so many amazing Southern University alumni from last Monday to Thursday right now. And listen, the book is available right now on Amazon. Make sure to go and get it. We have 2 authors to round out our series of interviews. We have Megan Daniels, and we have a former Miss Southern University, Jasmine Smutherman. But first, we're going to bring up Megan Daniels. My man, she's a marketing professional, making it happen. Listen, I'm looking at, the camera right now. I've not brought her up yet. It looks like she has an AKA sweatshirt on, so she's repping. And I see she's repping right now. So listen, we're ready to go, ready to do this. Let's go on and bring her up. Megan, how you doing today?
Hi, how are you?
Good. I see what you got. I see what you got going on. Listen, you repping. And not you pull the camera down. Oh man.
The first and the finest.
I feel it. You have to pull the camera out and make sure you be seen, because you can't see my shirt.
What they say, y'all gotta see me. Yeah.
Right. Hey. Listen, they got to see it. They got to see it. But listen, how are you doing? How's everything going? It's release day. How are you feeling?
It is. I am excited. I'm overwhelmed with emotions. I'm just grateful. Honestly, grateful to be a part of such a great movement. Grateful to be able to represent my HBCU. Grateful enough that I was chosen to be a part of the book and just bring awareness to our HBCU, especially the Southern University.
Yeah. Hey, listen, y'all are different.
Excuse me, the Southern University system. Because we're a system.
Listen, the systems are big. Y'all got your own system, because the rest of us are in another system like that we got time to talk about.
But we need to get us back to our own systems though. Right. And like I said, I do rep the Southern University, but I stand proud for all HBCUs, because without them, a lot of us wouldn't have the opportunities that we have. So Yes.
Exactly. And that's big now with everything going on with Black history being taught in schools and people saying
Yes.
that slavery, like Black folks benefited from slavery. We
Right.
need HBCUs. So I think all of us, especially in Florida, we're jealous y'all got your own system. So y'all doing y'all thing in Baton Rouge, trust me. But first
I
and foremost,
appreciate
before we get started, let everyone know who you are.
Again, my name is Megan Daniels, originally from New Orleans, Louisiana, moved to Baton Rouge at 15 after Katrina, where I attended the Southern University Laboratory School. So proud Jaguar, proud kitten. From there, I attended Southern University in 2008, got my bachelor's degree in criminal justice in 2012, and then went back to the Southern University for my master's degree in criminal justice in 2014. So yes,
Oh
all of my
wow! Like so, you went
degrees
to
have
the
Southern University on it. Okay.
and it looks like elementary school, middle school, high school there too. So wait, so you went to Southern Laboratory School? Talk about that.
Yes. Yes. So best high school in Baton Rouge. Yes, but so at the time, my sister was attending Southern University, and we were looking for in high school. Me personally, I was like, Mom, why are we trying to enroll me in school when we're going back to New Orleans? My mom was like, Girl, our house is underwater. You're going to school in Baton Rouge. And she was like, So you need to choose. You got two options, because we didn't know much about Baton Rouge besides what my sister knew by being a college student. She was like, You have two options, Southern Lab or Scotlandville. And my sister was like, She needs to go to Southern Lab. That way I could be on campus and watch her. Yeah, it was the opposite. I was on campus watching her. So she did pave the way. I remember, I said this on another interview, but I remember just being like on our half days in school. My sister would have to pick me up, and she'll be like, Well, you have to come to the, because we always had a half day on a Wednesday, and Wednesdays at Southern was always Pretty Wednesday. So imagine a little sophomore in high school going on Southern University campus for the most popular day. There's DJs, there's the sororities and fraternities, like strolling. There's like college. You could not tell me that I was not already enrolled in Southern. And then for the rest of the days, I had to sit in her classes with her. And she like, Look, I got to do biology. You better do your homework. That way when we leave, we could go straight home and blah, blah, blah. So I feel like I was already a part of the school.
That is so dope. What? So like, and I think I've heard about Southern's Laboratory School, the high school. So it's on campus. It's on campus.
It's on campus. It's on campus. Like you pass up Southern Lab. It's actually right next door to the nursing school.
Wow. So is Southern Lab like a mini Southern, like within itself? Like, what's it like?
It is. It's definitely family oriented. We had pre-K all the way to 12th grade. And when I tell you that everybody knew everybody, so it was like if you got in trouble, like your mama was about to know before the day was even over. Like even if the teacher did not call home, by the end of the day, your mama knew about it, okay? Because everybody knew everybody. It was a family. Like, so I danced in high school, the Southern Laboratory Dancing Dolls. And I remember my mom always having to work. She always been a hustler. So 2 or 3 jobs at a time. And I never had to worry about like, oh, how I'm getting to a game, how I'm getting home, because I knew somebody there were going to take me home. Somebody was going to, have my bag. We was a big family like that, which was sometimes good and bad because, people be in your business. So, but again, it has its own culture. We did spend a lot of time on campus. We actually even had like a program where they will allow some of the students from Southern Lab to take like prerequisite classes on campus. So, yeah.
Man, listen, Southern University is so cold because like that is such a dope recruitment play. Whereas like just go to Southern Laboratory School and like you're gonna want to go to Southern. I mean, like, or at least HBCU. So come on, like that is so dope. And the thing about it, go ahead.
I'm sorry. When I was on a dance team there, I remember we had just lost our band director because he had retired, and we had we were like, are we going to be dancing to the radio? Like, what's going to happen? And, all these things. And we would be practicing like outside, and we'll hear the human jukebox from like all the way across the street. And we'll be like, all right, y'all, like, turn the radio off. Let's go. We just going to dance to them because they were just that loud. So, yes. And then after practice, we would literally just sneak on campus and like try to go sneak and watch the band. Like, it was, yes. My mom would think I was at practice, but I was really on Southern campus. Sorry, Mama, it paid off. But she'd probably still fuss at me if she found out. But yeah, I used to sneak and be like, hey, Mama, we have late practice. So we could go sneak and watch the band.
I hope your mom wouldn't be. That's the dopest thing. Like it's like, where you at? Well, I snuck on my future school's campus to see the band play. I'm not doing nothing bad. Like and some bands be like, you lying. What boy were you with? You know what I'm saying? They think you lying. You weren't in no Southern.
Billion boys with the band, like watching the band, like fantasizing, like, oh, I cannot wait till I get up there. But yeah, so Southern. It runs deep in my blood. HBCUs, period. I mentioned before, like my family, half went to Grambling, half went to Southern, half are AKAs, half are Deltas. We have Qs and Kappas, and then we have the Bayou Classic, where everybody would come to my mom's house in New Orleans because she's the cook. And I'm talking about we sitting at the table with shirts like F your school, like, like it's all about my school, like, stuff like that. However, it was like the competition will be button heads. Like I'm talking about from the Greek show to the battle dance. Oh, your band had on them type of shoes, and y'all band did this. We couldn't even hear y'all band. And oh, what about y'all quarterback when he fumbled that ball? Like we'll be going at it. And not talk to each other from Thursday to Sunday. But on Sunday, it's all love. And whichever team, move on to the playoffs, then okay, let's go. We're going to support that team too. Like, that's how it is. So, we could talk about our HBCUs, but let somebody else talk about our HBCUs and we're going at it. Like, that's how it was with our family.
So I gotta ask this. So, like, because like essentially, I was gonna ask you like what made you Southern your HBCU, but you essentially answered. You went to Southern's high school, so it was already there. So I gotta ask you this. So I
was going to Southern University when I was about 8 years old. Like
I could tell. I could tell, but I gotta ask you this because you said that you have this like it's AKs and Deltas in your family. It's Qs and Kappas in your family. It's Southern and Grambling in your family. So I remember I was watching Bel Air and they had like a family reunion episode where they played like flag football against each other. Do y'all play games against each other and stuff like that, or is it just like y'all just be talking?
Let me tell you, not games, but I'm talking about a whole like stroll off, like step show, all that again. I'm talking about my uncle who barely could get off the couch, then got up and started hopping and barking, and like my auntie, like talking about his Delta Sigma Theta, and we was like, who is that? And all, but it's all love because number one, we're going to support all of our Divine Nine, and then we're going to always support all of our HBCUs. But yes, we have that friendly rival that like during football season, like it's August and we already started because like what y'all mean? We going back. We back to the swag. Like, you should see the family group chat. Let me just tell you just how petty my family is when it comes to like the Southern Grambling rivalry. They know that I'm doing the book. My auntie was like, I'm so proud of she shared it. I'm so proud of my niece, even though she didn't choose Grambling. Wow. Why did I have to do your post, lady?
Well, I mean, there was a Grambling book. She could have got the Grambling book. She doesn't know it's a Grambling book on Amazon right now.
Let me tell you how petty it would be. She'll buy one of mine and buy two of the Grambling, just so she could say, okay, I support it, but I'm still Team Grambling. That's how we are. Yeah.
But it's all going to it's all going to the same company, it's all going to the same movement. So it's like everybody win. Southern and Grambling win. So yeah. Listen, we love to see it. The Southern book is gonna be dope. The Grambling book was dope. All y'all dope. It's dope. It's just a vibe.
Yes. We were literally like, she would help babysit my baby. I have a little girl. She's doing now, Arisley, and she would like, oh, Nanny gonna have to buy that baby some Grambling stuff. I'm like, don't put that on my baby. You better not put that on my baby. or for my baby shower, I got Delta gifts. Like, why would y'all do that? You know? So yes, it's so much friendly rivalry that comes in. But again, like I said, whenever Alpha Kappa Alpha having a fundraiser, they're the first ones to support, and vice versa. Whenever, we can attend like another HBCU game, besides when we're playing each other, we're there to support, So it's all love.
I love it. I love it. I want to say this before we really get into the meat of the interview. Like, listen, one of these times, y'all gotta have like a family reunion field day. Y'all gotta play flag football. Y'all gotta, like, at the very least, y'all gotta play Uno. Like Southern versus Grambling Uno. That might be more physical than a football game. Uno gets crazy.
It'd be the spades.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Southern versus Grambling Spades would be so crazy. Oh my God. That might be worse than a football game.
They even bring my grandmother and grandfather in it. Like my grandfather, God bless the dead, he would say like, or he'll be like, yeah, I'm Southern University, Southern shirt on, and say if Grambling win the football game, I wouldn't never Southern, baby. I was always Grambling. Like that was
oh my gosh, this is the ideal family. Why this is crazy. Like y'all, like listen, y'all are living the life. But let's get into your time on the yard, because you had this amazing HBCU family. You had this amazing, essentially HBCU high school story. But talk about your freshman year, how that was.
So my freshman year, I would say, was one of my best years on campus. Like if I didn't learn anything about like life experiences throughout my whole time, undergrad and graduate degree, I learned my freshman year. Like my mom lived literally 10 minutes from campus, and I lived on campus with no car, and just meeting all the people and like mingling and like just seeing all of it, because Southern Lab, you're right here. Everybody look like you. Everybody pretty much from the same area. So when you going on campus and you meeting people from California, you're meeting people from Detroit, you're meeting people from here and there and there. It's like, what brought you all the way to Louisiana to Southern? Like, how you, like, and just hearing their stories and becoming their friends, and even going home with your suite mates and going to meet their families and seeing how everybody else living and hearing everybody's stories. Oh, we had a time. And also I remember like I wish that it was recorded and social media was as popping as it is now, because my freshman year was when Facebook first had like really came out, when everybody would just randomly post stuff kind of like Twitter. But when Obama won president, like being a part of an HBCU and like really from the campaigning to like the night of inauguration and like all of that. Like I just remember when he won, the whole campus went crazy. I mean, we had like our whole like, I'm talking about staff, the police officers, students. It became a big old party outside. Like the police was turning on their lights, and everybody was just on the yard in a circle rapping "My President is Black." Like, come on now, where you go? You're not gonna get that at a LSU or a PWI. You're not gonna get that. And then like
they might be scared over there. They might be scared.
Yeah. And we went crazy. I'm talking about, and they just all let us have a ball because, okay, the first Black president like ever was just like voted in, and it was on the strength of college students. And just knowing that my first time being able to vote, I was able to get a first Black president. Man, it was crazy. It was crazy. I'll never forget it. That was also my first time ever like drinking. And I remember I called my mom and I was like, Mama, we have a Black president. And she was just like, baby, go to bed. We'll talk about it tomorrow. So, and then I remember like waking up because I had an 8 o'clock class. I woke up at 7 and I was like, ooh, we about to all be struggling. And we got a message from our professors. Campus closed today. Enjoy yourself. That's not happening at nowhere else but a HBCU, And speaking of that, just having professors that understood, that looked like you and understood your struggles. When I was in college, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor where I was told, I was told that I needed to sit out a year and postpone graduation. This was the September before the December of my graduation. I went to my professors and I was like, I'm too close. I don't want to give up. Those professors worked with me. They were like, Megan, we're not about to let you fail. Like, you came too far. I graduated with the highest GPA of my whole college career that semester. Like, you don't get that nowhere else. I spent 3.5 weeks in ICU and fresh out of ICU back on campus where my professors was like, why are you here? Go home. We'll bring you your work and we'll work with you when you're better.
Wow.
Walking across the stage was something different for me. It was a lot. It was a lot, like, because number one, society say, oh, I'm not supposed to be here. Society says, you know, the neighborhood that you grew up in, the family dynamic that you had growing up without a dad or a dad that was on drugs, you know, it's low chances that you go to college and get a degree, and I have two. You know, my professors were the reason I got the jobs that I had. Like, hey, do you know where I should do my internship? Because I'm thinking here. No, baby, that's not going to help you. Let me call somebody. You going here. That's what HBCUs are about. People that look like us who have been where we are and have gone and reached their goals to bring us up with them. And that's what I want to do. I want to be able to tell that little girl or that little boy who parents on drugs, grew up in the hood, that say, oh, it's no chance that I go to college. Baby, come see. Let me show you.
Right. I love it. See, listen, I gotta ask this. This is a unique question I've not asked anyone else, because I love your energy and your story is amazing. So, and you're a marketer, right? So you're a part of the marketing team for Center Senior Primary Care. You know,
Centerwell Senior Primary Care.
Centerwell Senior Primary Care. Yes. So, like, listen, I want you to give me like your best pitch for going to an HBCU and going to Southern University, and give me all your energy. Give me your best pitch. Like sell me on going to Southern University.
You put me on the spot, but I like that. So I'm going to pretend as though I am a marketer for Southern University and you're a student that's trying to choose what school you're going to, right? So I'm going to ask you, so what are you looking for in a college?
I'm looking for a place I can call home.
A place that you can call home. So what does home feel like to you? Is that somewhere you can find comfort?
Yes.
Somewhere where you have people that look like you?
Yes.
Somewhere where you'll have people that love you and support you?
Yes.
That's what you're going to get from here, Southern University, where your peers and your professors look like you. They understand where you've been. They understand where you're trying to go. You're not just walking on a campus and just being another number. Your name standing out because you are somebody. We want you to be somebody, and we're going to help you strive to be somebody. So come on over to Southern University, A&M College.
Man, listen, well, sign up. Why send my application? I'm here in Byron, Georgia. I mailed the application over. I mailed it over. Now, y'all might need to give me a full ride scholarship because I'm done paying student loans.
Okay, so if we can't get you a full ride, we're going to make sure that you don't have as many student loans as you would have over there at LSU or Alabama or those other places. Because we do have minority scholarships, we do have Pell Grants and all of these other grants. So we're going to get you a financial aid advisor and can help you. Because again, you're not just a number over here.
Listen, that's what's needed. Because listen, like when you graduate and the student loans pile up, and then the federal student loans are paused for right now. They're about to come back, you know, because that's the Supreme Court did what they did. So like, you know, like I got mail. Like they sent me mail. I don't get mail from anybody.
Hey, Miss Daniels, is all of your contact information up to date? Leave me alone. I don't know.
It gets crazy.
Get somebody else to do it.
It gets crazy. But what I'll say is this, and I think, you know, this pivots to my next question is that through it all, like you embrace the experience, because like, you know, I'll take on the debt again just to experience that again. You know,
I would. I'll do it all over again. And then I like to tell anybody, yes, of course, student loans are like, whoo, they be coming at you. However, out of all of the debt that you could ever accumulate, that's the one that doesn't hurt you the most. It helps you the most, because you could go spend $50,000 on a brand new car, and you're not going to get out of it what you will get out of that diploma, that degree, that, so it's the best debt that you would be in.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing about it is that the funny thing about it is that when you put it like that, I mean, getting the college degree will help you get in the car. You really think about it. Help you get the car. Help you get in the car.
Certain kind of jobs, certain jobs will help you pay those off. You just got to find your resources. The resources are out there. And if anybody know of any resources that can help me, please call me.
Listen, what I learned about is that research that SAVE plan, because I'm gonna be researching that SAVE plan to get the federal loans reduced and the new IDR that makes it lower. I'm gonna be doing that. So like sometimes I wish I went to the HBCU in the 1980s, so I would have like 30 years of paying my loans. So they could just go away, because that's what they're doing for some folks. It's just like you pay for 20 years, it's gone. But I had to be born in the 90s. It's crazy. But right. Listen, so your chapter in the book, the HBCU Experience, the Southern University System, 3rd edition. Listen, you have so much amazing energy, and you have such a story. So I gotta ask you, like what is your chapter about? Like, just talk to us. Let us know what's up.
My chapter is just about just a breakdown of what we talked about today, how it came from, that whole HBCU culture came from like my family, and how, I didn't have that person to look up to say like, okay, what do I need to do to be a college graduate? I had some of it, but my mom, she started school and had to drop out because of kids. And my dad, who was on drugs and didn't have past a 6th grade degree, all he knew was work. And I just looked at them and I'm like, look how they, struggled for me to be where I am. Well, I want to be able to have my kid set before she even enters school. And that's what my chapter about. My chapter is about giving back to the community what I knew I needed. Because if it wasn't for cousins and aunties and teachers and, like those people who really, really like showed me the way, like my sister, who said, okay, you need to come experience this, like who was bringing me on campus to her classrooms with her to show me that, yeah, college is fun. However, it's hard too. Like if I didn't have that, then I may not have went or may not have stayed. Like I said, I had a brain tumor, like 3.5 weeks in ICU, and was told by the doctors, like, yeah, you're gonna need to sit out like the rest of this semester and just try again the next year. I said, sir, I go to Southern. This class may not even be offered next year. Like, I have to go ahead and get it now. So that's what my chapter is about. Like my story of the non-traditional college student and how I made it through, in hopes of it motivating somebody else to keep going.
I love it. Listen, this interview was amazing. Like I said, your energy is infectious. You have an amazing story. Like your family is amazing. Like y'all need y'all's own Johnson's Family Vacation style movie. Like that's what they just should do. Like, no, we don't need a Johnson's Family Vacation 2. Bow Wow too old now. Shout out Bow Wow, he too old now. We just need y'all to do it, and we need y'all to
do it. Harry, tell him come sit on our couch during Body Classic this year.
Listen, at this point, because listen, we just need y'all to do a field day, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if you watched the Disney Channel games. That was my child back in the day. The Disney Channel, all the Disney Channel stars, and they would play the different games. That's what y'all need.
Y'all hear that, Daniels Family? Southern versus Grambling Field Day. We're calling you out. Let's go.
Let's make it happen. But listen, before we go, tell everyone where they can find you on social media and how we can support you.
Yes. So my social media is, my personal social media page is _Jim My Pale Megan. So my name is Megan. And my business page is at Body to Soul Fitness. I didn't even talk about that, huh? So I teach yoga, fitness, and motivational classes to help those who may not be comfortable in their body and want to live a healthier life get there without putting the stress of what I'm supposed to look like versus what you're supposed to feel like. So you can find me on those pages. Also, support by any seniors that you know in the Louisiana area, contact me. We have resources for them. Just today, we did a free hurricane preparedness event with the Marshal's office in Lafayette. We passed out hurricane kits and gave seniors information about how they are able to come to Centerwell as their primary care and get transportation to and from their appointments, their prescriptions delivered to their doors, and all of those other things that people don't think about, and just connecting them with other resources in the community. So if you know a senior in need, give me a call. If you know somebody needing a motivational fitness instructor, give me a call. Or if you just need to chat about how you could be a student at the Southern University, give me a call.
I love it. I love it. And if you want to go to Southern, definitely give her a call because she will get you to get. I'm deciding between Southern and LSU. Like after that conversation, no, Southern. So you better go to that system. You know what I'm saying? But listen, Megan, thank you so much for coming on. It was such a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Go Jags.
Yes. Have a good rest of your night.
Bye.
Listen, that was amazing energy. We're going to keep the ball rolling. Listen, this is the energy that we need because the book is out now. The Southern University System 3rd edition, the HBCU Experience, available now on Amazon. Is August 3rd out here. But the thing about it is we got to wrap up these interviews, and we're doing it with a former Miss Southern University. We have Miss Jasmine Smutherman from Rolette, Texas in the building. Former queen. And if y'all know about HBCU Pulse, I know how we get down when it comes to HBCU queens. So we got to go on and rock that. That's how we close it out. That's how we close the chapter on this interview series. Let's go on and bring her on. Miss Jasmine, how you doing today? Oh, now she got the pop.
How you doing? Happy launch day. Yes.
I wasn't expecting that. We did. I wasn't expecting the pom-poms. You got me with it.
We made it.
We're here. How you?
Time coming.
It is. How is it feeling? The 3rd edition of the book. You're in the book, and you're the last interview. So how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I can't complain. God is good. And to be honest with you, I didn't know how I was gonna feel when this day came, but today has been nothing but good energy. It's raining outside, so you know that's good luck. Number 3 is my favorite number. So it's a good day.
It's raining where I'm at too. It's thundering. Right. That must mean it's real good. I'm in Byron, Georgia. Middle Georgia. I went to Fort Valley State University, and it's raining here too. So listen, we connected through the rain at this point.
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
See, that's probably why it's raining. It's raining in Atlanta. It's raining in Middle Georgia. That makes perfect sense. Like we narrowed that down at this point. That's crazy. Yeah. You know? So hopefully the power doesn't go out for any one of us because that possibly could happen.
We're not even going to speak that into the universe.
Right.
We're not even going to say that.
Right. And I said the reason why I say that we're not going to speak it, but Georgia Power will be something else. Okay, Georgia Power was something else. You know.
I do. I know exactly what you're talking about. I was actually hoping and praying that the power doesn't leave us. Yes. We're good. We're good.
Well, listen, here's what's going to empower us. Like the Southern University Jaguar power is going to keep the power all right now. We're talking to a former Miss Southern in the building. And I got to ask you this, being a former queen at Southern University, what made you choose Southern University as your HBCU?
Whew, my goodness. So it began, I want to say I was in 6th grade. There were quite a few Southern alum that went to my church. And a few of my dad's friends would gift us Bayou Classic tickets every year. And so from about 6th grade to 12th grade, I was going to Bayou Classic, and it was something completely different than I had ever experienced because I had gone to predominantly white schools. So just being amongst the noise, the band, I was in band in high school and middle school, but the marching band and the technique was completely different than what I was witnessing from the HBCU. So seeing an all Black cheerleading squad at the games, where I was the only Black cheerleader at my high school. So it was just seeing those differences through that introduction. And it came from, like I said, my church folk, my church family.
I love it. I love it. So listen, I know that the crescendo of the whole entire experience has to be you winning Miss Southern University, but we're going to start from the top, like a real Disney movie. You got to start from the top before you get to the end. All right. So talk to us about your freshman year experience.
So my freshman year, I ended up coming on campus with one of my sixth grade friends from middle school. We happened to find out maybe like a month prior to coming on campus that we were both attending Southern. So we decided to become roommates. And so we planned that whole process out together. We instantly clicked with our suite mates. Dorm life was amazing. I lived in Bowley Hall my freshman year. My memory, the memory that stands out the most to me is the circle. I don't know if you're familiar with the circle, but we would meet outside, and that's where we would kind of congregate and socialize with other students. And that's how you got to know everybody. And that's one of the memories that stands out the most to me because some of those people that I met in that circle are still my friends to this day. But freshman year, it was, I wouldn't say it was a cultural shock. And I don't know if it was because I went to a Black church, so I was around Black people. I knew that I wanted something different. I knew I wanted to experience something different than I had experienced back at home in Rowlett, Texas. So seeing all these Black people, it was exciting. It was refreshing. It was, hearing the accents, like my ears had to adjust to the New Orleans accents. Even just all over the world, just having to adjust to those different accents was an experience. But my freshman year was a lot of learning, a lot of introductions. It was my introduction to the Southern University cheerleading squad, where I cheered for 4 years. And that was the introduction. I would say freshman year was the introduction. We had Pretty Wednesday. That was the introduction to Pretty Wednesdays. And that's where we would hang out outside the Union in your best attire. Freshman year was the introduction.
I love it. I love it. And I can totally relate to the accent situation because I visited Southern University only once. I feel so bad it's only been once, but Fort Valley, my HBCU, I definitely got to come back. Fort Valley, my HBCU played Southern, right? And I was super excited. And I was a White House HBCU All-Star, and it was 2 Southern All-Stars. So you had one that went to the law school and one that was undergrad student. So I was like, listen, I'm coming to y'all's game against Fort Valley. It was like September, like the 30th. And I didn't know how I was going to get down there, but the Alumni had a bus. I paid $300. And for a college student, that's a lot. And I got on that bus. That is a lot of money. And I got on that bus, and the accents that I was hearing, it was so amazing to me because I listen to Lil Wayne, you know what I'm saying? I listen to the Hot Boys, you know what I mean? I listen to Birdman. So I hear the different songs, but being there and talking to folks, I'm like, that's different Southern accent right there. So I feel exactly where you're coming from. I feel exactly where you're coming from with that one. Let's talk about sophomore year. So you got acclimated, you had this amazing experience your freshman year. So what was it like for you sophomore year?
Sophomore year, so freshman year, I had missed the cheerleading tryouts to be on the co-ed team freshman year. So my sophomore year, I tried out for co-ed and I made the team. So my sophomore year consisted mainly, I mean, we had a pretty serious workout regimen when it came to practices and, you know, just what that whole thing looked like. So that's kind of when I would say my institution family came about, because we were a family away from home. My coach James, who I still keep in touch with to this day, he instilled a lot of the values and a lot of the things that I carry with me today, through just that experience, through cheerleading. Like he emphasized that it was very important to always show up. You're always on stage. Anytime we would travel for games, we could not hop off the bus without taking our hair down. He said it didn't matter how long or short your hair was. That hair comes down. You put your cheerleading attire on, and you step out. So a lot of the core values that I have taken with me to this day and that I use definitely come from Coach James. So my sophomore year definitely consisted of a lot of the structure that got me to where I am today. But it was also my family away from home because we spent so much time together. Like our mornings would start at 4:30 working out. Then we would go to class. After class, we would go to the gym and work out again. Then we would go eat lunch in Mayberry or Dunn cafeteria. And then we would have 5 o'clock practice. And we would practice from 5 till about 8. And then sometimes we would stay longer just to perfect, our craft.
I feel it. So for a Southern University cheerleader, right? Because, we see the troops of the cheerleader on campus at a high school or in college, but were y'all really like popular? Like when you walk up, people know you. Like, what was it like as a cheerleader at Southern University?
I will say this, we didn't get the same attention as the Dancing Dolls, but we were still considered campus celebrities. That's just what they would call pretty much anybody that was in an organization, the band, the cheerleaders, the Dancing Dolls, campus celebrities. People just knew who you were. They may not have known you by name, but they knew you by face. But that whole experience, it changed me. It taught me discipline. It taught me how to be a leader. Because there were so many things that we were forced to do that may have put us out of our comfort zone, but you had to get it done. And your counterparts were continuing to gain different skills, and you wanted to get to that point too. So every day was a challenge. Every single day was a challenge. And going from an all-girls squad to experiencing co-ed, in college was a completely night and day experience, because not only did we have to learn how to exist with other females, but we also had to learn how to coexist with male cheerleaders as well. So it was amazing. It really was. I was in the best shape of my life. Honestly, I wish I could get back to that.
I feel that. Trust me. I totally feel that. So junior year. So what was junior year like for you? Because I think junior year is when we start to get to the queen part of the story. So talk to us about junior year.
Junior year was when I started slightly considering it. It wasn't, to be honest with you, it wasn't anything that I had ever imagined myself doing. It was kind of one of those things that over time, seeing other, former Miss Southerns and SGA presidents campaign, I was excited about it, but it wasn't something that I could necessarily see myself taking on as a role, because I was shy. I was very shy. So I enjoyed the pageantry. I enjoyed seeing all the things that it took for them to put together a campaign. But I wasn't quite there as far as seeing myself in that role. It was probably my senior year when it really hit, because the other part of the story is that I stayed an extra year and took electives in order to run, because the year prior, my roommate at the time was running. She wanted to run, and I didn't want to run against her. I wanted to give her a full opportunity to win, because I knew she had the potential to win it. So I said, you know what? I'll stick around an extra year. You do you. Because initially I was going to run for maybe a class queen. But I said, no, I'm going to go big. I'm going to go all the way. So I stayed an additional year, took electives, and I ran after my senior year. So yeah, it wasn't.
I'm sorry. I gotta say this. You are such a good friend, because I know that there are people that would have been like, I want to be Miss Southern. So we friends, but we have to be friends after this, after I beat you. You are a good friend. You waited.
I waited. I did. I knew how important it was for her, because like I mentioned earlier, it wasn't something that was necessarily on my heart initially, but I knew it was something because she was a Baton Rouge native, because she grew up going to Southern games, grew up being on campus. Like, that was her life. I knew that was something that was very important for her. And so I didn't want her to miss out on that opportunity. And like I said, I knew she had a really good chance of winning. So it was a no-brainer for me to just say, you know what, I'll stick around an additional year, support you, help you campaign, and I'll do it another year. Wow. So yeah.
Wow, you are
that's
amazing.
The part of the story. I don't even think I put that in my chapter, but yeah, I stayed an additional year just to run.
Listen, we got to put you in the 4th edition to tell that whole story. Like, because at this point, 4th edition, like just whole sequel just for you. 4th edition, the Queen story. Like, and they already got a Queen book, so 3rd edition of the Queen book. You know, because the 3rd edition got to come out soon. Listen, like, there need to be a conversation, because that is something that even to this day, there are friendships that end over folks wanting to be in these positions.
Absolutely. And I didn't want that for us, because we were also roommates at the time. We were roommates, we cheered together. So we spent quite a bit of time together that I knew. And then the difference during the review, which is the pageant, the class queens don't have a talent portion, only Miss Southern. My talent is singing. And so I knew if I ran for a class queen, I wouldn't be able to perform. So that was the other part of it. I knew that I wanted to showcase my gifts. So it was important that I ran for Miss Southern versus a class queen.
I love it. So when you did run for Miss Southern, let's just skip to talking about that moment. So you knew a year in advance that you wanted to run, and you let your friend run, which I still think is just amazing. Wow. So you then run. So talk to us about that experience of running for Miss Southern.
So it was Christmas break before we had to take the Constitution test in order to be able to run, that I really had to make some decisions. And that's when I talked to my parents about the financial aspect of it. I talked to my best friend, who then became my campaign manager. You know, just what is this going to look like? How am I going to do this? What song am I going to choose for the pageant? Like, how much money am I going to come out of? How will I get sponsorships to support the campaign itself? So it was that whole Christmas break. It was just a lot of conversations of how it was going to look. And what steps it was going to take to make sure that I put on a proper campaign, and coming up with a slogan. I don't know if you've ever seen how Southern University campaigns, but it's a whole production. So leading up to that point, once we got back on campus from Christmas break, at that time, once I passed the Constitution test, that's when I started sending out sponsorship letters to church family, friends, and the money came rolling in. Once that money started rolling in, I was like, okay, I know what I can do. I know what I'm working with. So at that time, I went ahead and started purchasing campaign material, put together a campaign team. My campaign manager, my best friend, he started helping me come up with my slogan, which was, "You're Southern University dream girl, you're gonna love me." And so then I came up with the color. The color was purple. Purple represents royalty. So it was just little things that helped with the preparation, and it all came together beautifully. It really did. And so during my talent portion, I played the flute. I kind of fooled the crowd because most of my friends who knew me, they knew I sang, but I started off playing the flute just to throw people off a little bit. And then I went into a song.
I love it. So like, were folks like legitimately surprised? Did you hear gasping in the crowd when you put out the flute? Because that's how Black folks are.
They were disappointed. Like, what? Now, why is she pulling out a flute if she can sing? So yeah, there were a few disappointing gasps, like, oh, no. So yeah. But,
and then we start singing, they start cheering. We start singing, they were like, yeah.
They did. It seemed like a big blur in the moment, but when I went back and looked at the video, it was definitely a moment to remember, for sure.
I love it. So
there was no sleep.
I was going to ask that. I was going to ask how it was.
Yeah, it was probably one of the hardest weeks of my life, because it started from sun up to sundown. It was nonstop. We literally went from dorm to dorm, knocking on doors, asking people face to face if they would support me in my campaign. There were a few days I actually drove people in my car, students, to the polls. Social media wasn't even a thing. Like we couldn't utilize Facebook or any other resources to campaign. We actually had to touch the students' hands, speak to them face to face, hand out campaign material. So it was a completely different process than what it is today.
I can imagine. And what I say is that that's a better process, because I think a lot of people get lazy when it comes to social media, and you have to have that in-person type of campaign, because people got to see who you are. They can't just see, hey, this is the person from the flyer. They have to know what you stand for and what you're going to do in that position.
They will ask the questions. They did. They asked the questions when you were there face to face with them. And maybe about, what month was that? Back in December, I went to an event here in Georgia, and there was a guy who came up to me and said, "I voted for you my freshman year. I remember you coming to my dorm, talking to us my freshman year." And it's moments like that makes it that much special, because parts of it is a blur for me, because it was happening so fast, and it was high stress levels. It was a lot happening at one time. And like I said, little to no sleep, not really eating, just a lot of pressure. And at the time, I was the only non-Greek. I wasn't an AKA at the time when I ran. So I was the only non-Greek running. So just imagine the pressure of competing against the Greek organizations.
So I got to ask you this, because you hit on a big thing, because I used to do election consulting, and I just stopped this past spring. I got Ms. Clark Atlanta Chicana in That was my last client. I went out like, the Last Dance Michael Jordan type vibe. We went out with a win. So like when a dominant win. So like you got to give, the young ladies and even young men that are running for these positions, because sometimes when you're running for a position, you do run against folks that are either just super duper popular, or they're a part of the band, or they're part of the Greek organization, or they're on a sports team. Like how do you compete in an environment like that when you're not Greek or you're not a part of an organization of that such?
You just be yourself and you connect the best way that you know how, because I was actually surprised at how many people I talked to that were able to connect with me and actually say like, I want to support you because you're the only non-Greek, because I can relate to you. I'm non-Greek, but one day I want to be this, or this. So I think that was probably the biggest thing when it came to the campaign, and just talking to other students, because we were on the same level. So I would just say be yourself and the rest will follow. People will see right through it, if you're presenting your representative and not your true self. So that was the only way I knew how to lead, was to just be myself and connect with them the best way that I knew how. And sometimes that meant having conversations go longer than I had expected, just to make that connection, or just to have that conversation that would be memorable. And, have moments like I just experienced in December, where somebody said, hey, I remember talking to you. You came to my dorm, you passed out. That meant the world to me. I don't remember a lot of it, but for somebody to say that something touched them, or something I said resonated with them, it's amazing.
I love that. So before we get to your chapter of the book,
Yes.
Let's talk about your reign. So give us a brief synopsis of the reign and all the things that you did as Miss Southern University.
So just the title itself carries so much weight. But with that, you have so much support. We have an organization called the Miss Southern Sisters. And from the moment that I was elected, the support came in and they had my back. There were a lot of, right after I was elected, that summer leading up to the fall, we went to a camp, and it was basically us along with other school representatives. And, they just kind of teach you certain things about what to expect, and how you should dress, and, just little things like that, different etiquette. But I will have to say that my class queens were amazing. Miss Freshman, Miss Sophomore, Miss Junior, Miss Senior, they were amazing. They actually, so once I decided that I was going to move back on campus, because I had the option to live off campus or move back on campus, I decided to have a whole suite. And so I extended the invite to my queens to live in the suite with me. So Miss Junior and Miss Sophomore, they lived with me in my suite. And that was amazing. So we did pretty much everything together. So many speaking engagements, so many opportunities to be the face of the university and represent the student body on so many different levels. Because I sang everywhere I was asked to sing. It was just, it really was a dream. It exceeded my expectations, because like I said, I didn't know what to expect. But my advisor, Ave Bonham, she coached me on how to speak, how to respond to different emails, and just things that, like I said, now I I'm really having to tune into and go back and remember, oh, okay, I remember when I learned this, and I utilize those skills now. But yeah, it was an amazing year. It really was.
I can tell it's especially like living with your queens. Like I can tell that probably was amazing, especially for them, because I see such a kinship between the Miss Freshman and the Miss Sophomore to their queen. It's always those two queens that really stay connected with that miss of the university, and oftentimes like that's the person that they model themselves after when they run. So I know that had to be amazing. But let's talk about your chapter of the HBCU experience, the Southern University System 3rd edition. You're the headliner of these interviews. I know your chapter is dope, and you left some stuff out. So talk to us about what's in the chapter, and then we're going to wait to see when the next book come out, and you're going to be in it. We can go see the rest of your story. But let's talk about what's in the book. What is in your chapter?
So my chapter basically just touches on the introduction, which was church. We went on many college tours growing up that were set up through the church. Most of them were local, but there were a few that we would do. We went to Spelman, we went to TSU, we went to Alabama State, Alabama A&M, Tuskegee. We never actually touched Southern because it was out of the range that they were willing to travel based on finances. But college tours were a big deal. And it wasn't something that they just did once you were approaching your senior year. They did it probably as young as 8th grade. And so the church bus would gather us up, and we would go from city to city and go on these tours. So my chapter just basically touches on that introduction, how Bayou Classic gave me the excitement and the thrill to want to attend, an HBCU based on that experience alone. And it was a very hard decision to make because my parents wanted me to stay home and be local, but I knew deep down in my heart that I needed something different. Although I had gone to predominantly white schools, I knew that I wanted to be amongst people that looked like me. I knew that I wanted to learn from people who looked like me, connect in a way, because there was always something that felt different. Like I said earlier, I was the only Black cheerleader at my high school. So I felt like I was always teaching. Some of my white counterparts would ask questions like, oh, can you curl your hair? Can you straighten your hair? Things like that. And I would take that as an opportunity to teach them without getting offended by the questions. But I knew that I needed to connect with people that, like I said, look like me, think like me, eat like me, just little things like that. And then just how a lot of the friendships that I made have definitely carried over into my adult life.
I love it. The eat like me part. That's real. That's real right there.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
The palate can be a little bit different. I'm telling you. The seasoning can be a little bit different.
We just do different things, and that's okay.
It is.
They had lake houses. We have barbecues. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. More than you know. Boy, trust me. More do you know? Because it's a lot different about a Black palate and another palate. And it does start with the seasoning. It does start with the sauces. It does start with a lot of that. And sometimes it don't be that healthy. But listen, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. You feel me?
That's right. What I'm saying? That's right. Yes,
at this point, we'll worry about that later on. We'll worry later on. But right now, I need a good meal. Anyway, listen, it was amazing talking to you. Before we go, tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
My social media handle on Instagram is at Jazz Vocals, JASVOCALS.
I love it. I love it. And I wanted to say, by the way, I heard some of your songs on YouTube. I looked you up. I saw a song from 15 years ago. Yes.
Ooh, was it the pageant?
I saw the pageant, but it was like a song. It said new R&B singer. And I'm like, this brought me back to my childhood. I used to be on YouTube just looking at like the video was like, man, it brought me back. I was in a time machine. You took me back to 2007. It was amazing. Okay. So
thank you. Thank you.
I heard the Jasmine vocals and want to let you know I heard it. You know, I heard the Jasmine vocals. But listen, like I said, it was amazing talking to you. Thank you so much for coming on. Super excited to read your chapter. And for real, we got to get you in the next book because I got to hear that full story and read that full story about how you let your friend say, you know what, I'm going to wait. You go on and run. You are an amazing person for that. And I know you have a lifelong friend because if someone did that for me, you good. If you in a fight, I'm fighting. If you got a problem, if you need a kidney, just here you go. Because that is some loyalty.
Listen, being a good friend goes a long way. And it's something that I stand by to this day. It is so important to be a good friend. It's so important to display loyalty. Because if you don't have that, what do you have? It's hard to trust people these days. It really is. And so hopefully all of my friends know that they get the true me and that I will always fight for them or always do whatever I feel is necessary to let them know that I'm a ride or die friend.
Hey, listen, they know, and they know through actions because actions speak louder than words. So listen, actions speak louder than words to me. But thank you so much for coming on. Like I said, we cannot wait to read your chapter.
Thank you so much for having me, and happy launch day.
Happy launch day to you as well. We love the energy. We love to see it. Thank you so much for coming on, Jasmine.
Thank you. Have a great night.
You too. Energy is on 10. We love to see it. Listen, launch day. Go get the HBCU experience, the Southern University System, 3rd edition. You hear stories like that. You hear stories like Megan's story. You hear so many amazing stories about the HBCU experience that honestly, for any freshman, because I know the orientation leaders are on campus. The freshmen are going to be on campus at a lot of these institutions this weekend, next Monday, next week. School is back in session 2 weeks from now. The first football game, week 0, is August the 26th. That's not that far away. So you want to get your rising freshman, your rising sophomore, seniors, get them this book because this is going to get them ready for their HBCU experience, but it's also going to get them ready for their time on the yard as well. It was amazing doing these interviews. Thank you so much for tuning in. Randall Barnes, founder of HBCU Pulse, host of HBCU Pulse Radio. I'm going to play one more time the trailer for the HBCU experience, the Southern University System, 3rd edition. You have an amazing night.
The HBCU Experience, the Southern University System 3rd edition, is a collection of stories written by prominent Southern University alumni throughout the world. Southern University alumni who are doing great things in their careers, businesses, and communities, nationally and internationally. The authors share their stories and experiences of how the Southern University System has molded them into the people they are today. Purchase your copy today and support the HBCU Experience, the Southern University System 3rd edition at Amazon.com.